Good afternoon, everyone. This is Team Pythonic, and I'm Aman. I'll be the presenter for today. Okay, then, let's talk. Let's begin by discussing what is our aim. First is simplification. Imagine having one central hub to control all of your smart devices. Basically, your personal assistant can streamline this process by allowing the user to interact with it and manage their house. But as discussed earlier in the other video, if the user can ask for whatever he wants, then the problem is pretty much solved. But again, we want to make their lives easier, so we introduce proactive automation. A personal assistant can take smart home control to the next level by anticipating your needs and automating tasks. It can learn your routines and preferences, suggesting or automatically triggering actions. For example, it can turn on lights as you arrive home, adjust the thermostat before you wake up, or start the coffee maker based on your schedule. Overall, the aim is to create a seamless and effortless smart home experience. Now, the $1,000,000 question is, how does it make users' life easier? Imagine this. You walk in the door after a long day and bam, lights come on, your favorite music starts playing, and the robot vacuum is already cleaning. That's the magic of convenience. But it is not just about convenience, it's about personalization too. Let's say your partner likes to wake up to a cool room, while you prefer a toasty start. Personalized experiences lets you customize settings for each user, catering to everyone's needs. Now comes the best part, remote control. Imagine being at work and remembering you left the iron on. No sweat. A tap on your phone and you're good to go. Even provides real-time monitoring for all of your devices. And what is all of this for? Just to get more free time to spend with your family. Now let's talk about what we have created. Introducing Sam, your own personal smart home assistant that provides you with suggestions based on your habits. Has a lot of safety features to keep you and your house safe by providing the ease of adding devices and managing routines, and also giving the functionality to maintain different locations like your house, office, or your beach house. Now let's talk about how we implemented all of this. In round 1, we presented our basic workflow where, based on the query, the LLM provides a list of devices and also updates the current attributes in the database and provides a response to the user. The core functionality is the same, but we have added a lot of new things after that, like commands. Everything starting with a "Hey Sam" will be treated as a command, similar to how we call Siri, which is used to add, delete, or trigger a routine. We can even use it to add devices by inputting the device ID and much more. For Sam, we are using an open source LLM, which I'm hosting locally on my laptop. This we are doing using LM Studio, which have the option to download any open source model that we want. Few of these are multilingual, so there is a possibility of supporting multiple languages in the future. All we have to do is load the model and start a local server, and we are good to go. For databases, due to time constraints, we operate for just using JSON files to show proof of concept. In the future, we are planning to use things like Supabase or Firebase for hosting the data. Currently, we have these two files containing information about routines and devices, along with their current state. As well as we have these two files which maps room name and location names to their respective IDs. For the chatbot UI, we have used Gradio, and for the website, we have used Next.js 14 along with Tailwind CSS. At the backend, we have mostly used JavaScript and some Python here and there. Now coming to the workflow. This is the process of adding a new device. The user scans the QR code on the device. He is then prompted to enter the location and the room where the device is installed. After this, we call one of the APIs that is given on Samsung SmartThings developers page called get the description of a device. After doing that, we add the device details to the devices.json file. Now coming to suggestions. This code checks that if the user's current location is anywhere near their home, and it triggers a suggestion response if the user is within the radius. For testing purposes, we have hard-coded the location parameters. Now the question comes, which routine is Sam supposed to suggest? For that, we take into account user's logs, basically all the actions that the user has taken in the past week or so, as well as the information about the routines. Based on this, a routine is suggested for the current time of the day. Another method that we thought of was dealing with user pattern. Imagine this. The user has a habit of taking shower and then immediately going to sleep after it. So why not make a system that can understand this pattern and suggest routines based on the action that the user is currently taking? This is something we haven't implemented due to time restrictions, but we aim on doing so in the future. But how do we decide when do we want to push the suggestions? We don't want to overwhelm the user. So again, we monitor the logs of the user. Based on that, we can figure out the hotspot when the user uses the app mostly. And based on that trend, we can basically push the suggestions, maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes before the peaks, which is represented by the graph and the arrow points to the probable notifications. Now, coming to all the ideas that we had but couldn't implement due to lack of time, that is, adding a way to authenticate users. We plan on doing so by using Samsung ID, hosting the database on a server, using a multilingual LLM, improving on the suggestion system. That we are planning to do by constantly learning from the user's responses to the suggestions. If the user accepts it, it's a positive response. If he doesn't, then it's a negative response. And maybe incorporating Samsung's sensors to keep track of weather. Adding the devices via Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, how it works in the Samsung Things app. Also, providing users with usage analytics, like how we have in a fitness app, about their power consumption and how they can optimize it. Well, there are endless possibilities for something like this. But the question comes that, do we want Sam to become our best friend? Like, how much do we want to tell him? Should he know everything about our personal life? And how good is he at keeping secrets within himself? It's just something to think about. Well, that will be the end of our presentation. Please do contact us if you have any queries, and thank you for listening.